Ladies and gentlemen, in the first months of 2021, Tay Ninh has reported many interior cases of COVID-19 that has affected the lives of people, especially the production and business activity as well as the economic development. However, with the high determination of the entire political system, the epidemic situation in the province has been initially controlled and achieving many success in the implementation of their goals.
According to the government's assessment, the COVID-19 pandemic in Vietnam and around the world has been heavily affecting the economic development and social life of many provinces and cities all over the country. However, Tay Ninh is different from other areas, facing the risk of infection from other areas such as HCM City and Southern provinces, as well as other countries in the region, especially Cambodia. Tay Ninh is still making great efforts to fulfill its dual goals, effectively fight against the pandemic, and act as a solid shield for production, business, and economic development. In the first 6 months of 2021, Tay Ninh achieved and exceeded the plan, increasing over the same period in most of the basic socio-economic indicators. The provincial economy maintained the growth momentum of GRDP of 7%. Exports increased 77% over the same period, especially in the US and EU markets. Budget revenue reached 54% compared to the estimate. The social control aspects have achieved positive changes. Social security has been ensured. The province has also successfully organized the elections of deputies to the 15th National Assembly and the People's Council at all levels for the term 2021-2026 with a high voter turnout rate, reaching 99.86%. National defense and security have been maintained. Foreign relations being strengthened. Administrative reform has changed positively. The administrative reform index in 2021 increased by 7 places compared to 2019. The political system is increasingly consolidated, meeting the requirements of the task. The results are positive and remarkable signs in the difficult context due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The tasks and solutions set out in party congresses at all levels, especially Tay Ninh Provincial Party Congress, have contributed to the overall achievement of the whole country in implementing the goals, tasks, and solutions set out by the 30 National Party Congress over the last 6 months. For example, the province's economic growth reached 7%, budget revenue increased 21%, exports up 67%. The province has also performed well in social security work, maintained defense and security in border areas. On behalf of the government, I would like to recognize and praise the achievements that Tay Ninh province has won over the last 6 months. To achieve the mentioned results, it requires the involvement of the entire political system in epidemic prevention and control. With the viewpoint, fighting the epidemic is like fighting the enemy, and the motto for on the spot, mobilizing the participation of the whole political system and all strata of society, promoting discipline and responsibility of the leaders, strictly implementing epidemic prevention and control measures under the direction of the government, the Prime Minister, the National Steering Committee for COVID-19 Prevention and Control, and the Ministry of Health. Taking the grassroots political system as the foundation and maximizing the role of the community COVID-19 team, the self-governing residential group and health groups, implementing the motto fast tracing, wide area testing, and narrow area blockade. Firmly grasp and properly assess the local epidemic situation, being proactive, flexible, adjust and supplement scenarios. Effective epidemic prevention and control solutions should be extreme, determined to successfully implement the dual goals. Strive to complete the socio-economic development plan in 2021, creating a premise for the development of the coming years activate epidemic response activities at the highest level, promote strict and effective implementation of epidemic prevention and control measures, determining to prevent the infectious disease from spreading in enterprises in industrial parks to avoid the possible disruption of production, business, and goods supply chains. The Steering Committee for Epidemic Prevention and Control has issued a plan to deal with cases of infection in industrial parks, economic zones, companies, and enterprises. The Provincial Steering Committee also directed each company to develop a specific plan on prevention, control, and handling in case of an infection in the industrial park, to establish steering committees for epidemic prevention and control at each enterprise, closely inspect and supervise the criteria as required. Businesses that don't meet the required standards will be suspended from operation. Each enterprise and industrial park should actively develop a concentrated isolation plan in case of detecting a COVID-19 infection in the enterprise. The province has actively prepared medicine, equipment, and human resources to serve the requirements of epidemic prevention and control, especially improving the capacity of taking samples for testing and the capacity of treatment with the 4 on-the-spot motto. Focus on promoting propaganda to raise people's awareness and responsibility in the prevention and control of the COVID-19 pandemic. Strictly follow the 5K message of the Ministry of Health. Don't let things slide. Shouldn't be subjective, lethargic. Strictly control the borderline, avoiding the situation where illegal entry isn't detected and handled. Strengthening random testing and screening for at-risk subjects at medical examination and treatment establishment, factories, plants, industrial parks, market areas, supermarkets, and bus stations, and cases with symptoms of cough, fever, difficulty breathing, respiratory infections, in order to detect infection early in the community. The province is currently keeping a tight rein on people coming from epidemic areas, strictly handling violations of the province epidemic prevention and control, developing a plan to effectively implement the national COVID-19 vaccination campaign under the direction of the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Health. After 3 vaccination campaigns in Tay Ninh province, the vaccination rate reached over 110%, according to the plan set out for 41,876 people. Despite the positive and encouraging result, but with the view that fighting against the epidemic like fighting the enemy, not being subjective, negligent, losing vigilance, being always proactive and flexible with the motto 4 on the spot, thoroughly and effectively implementing the direction of the Politburo, the Central Executive Committee, and the government, the National Steering Committee for COVID-19 Prevention and Control, the entire party, people, and army of Tay Ninh province will make efforts and join hands to continue to prevent the pandemic, develop the economy, and fulfill the due goals in the last 6 months of 2021 and the following years.
Ladies and gentlemen, the column The Prevention and Control of COVID-19 now comes to an end. We will continue to update information about the pandemic on TTV 11 channel, YouTube fanpage, and official website of Tay Ninh Radio and Television Station. Let's share us.